Hello.
Hi.
And welcome back. My speakers are way too loud. And now they're too quiet. And that's good. Welcome back, once again, to Wheel Takes, a podcast. What if I just said that? About the Wheel of Time, a series of fantasy novels written by Robert Jordan and completed by Brandon Sanderson. My name's Gus. I've read all of them.
And I'm Allie, and I'm on book 12.
Yeah.
Chapter 44.
There you go. This podcast only contains spoilers for what Allie's already read, and again, today that's everything up to and including The Gathering Storm, Chapter 44, which is called, you'd think I would have had the book open, I make this mistake constantly, which is called Sense Unknown.
Yes.
Now, here's the thing. Yeah. I had a wisdom tooth removed a little under a week ago, which is why this episode is delayed, because it hurt to talk.
Yeah, it did.
It hurts to talk a little bit, so I might be a little bit less expressive than I usually am. But that's okay, because that's why we have Allie. Somebody suggested that I do an entire episode where I just use the soundboard and don't say anything. Maybe someday, but not today. Allie.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I hate Rand.
Rand is back.
Listen, he's back
again.
He's back on my back on my hate list again.
He is ripping up the pavement. He is tearing new ground. That's not a phrase. He's going off. I just woke up from a nap.
I just failed to see why his misery has to be everyone's problem.
That's a really good question that we have talked about before and will probably talk about again.
Listen.
Now, I think
this is coming from someone who has been deeply traumatized in their life, right? And who has been massively depressed in their life. Okay? So I feel like I can... listen, am I the savior of the world? God, I hope not. But like, I think about him and it makes me angry because I just tried as hard as I could to not make my trauma someone else's fucking problem. I did what I think a grown adult should do. Get their ass some help so that it's not everyone's problem to deal with their unpleasantness.
Listen, much like how in Babylon 5 there's no HR in space, in the Wheel of Time, there's no therapy in Randland.
And that is obvious considering this behavior. Oh my God.
I think
there's just a point at which I'm like, dude, touch grass.
I think there's an element with Rand, and to be clear, I'm not defending Rand, I'm just discussing Rand. I think there's an element with Rand where he feels like this responsibility has been put upon him by the world, and he holds the world at fault for it. So he's taking it out on everybody because he's like, I'm doing this for you assholes, and you're being dicks about it anyway. And then he yells at Nynaeve.
Who cares about him and is trying to help him with his fucking... This is my thing, is I'm like, you know that like being... it's not wrong to need help. It's not wrong to be depressed. It's not wrong to be traumatized. It's not wrong to feel like the world has been unfair to you. But the world is unfair to everyone. The world is unfair to everyone in some way. There is always a problem, right? Like everyone, I mean, almost everyone, the world is unfair to in some way, shape, or form. And like, I don't know, I kind of feel like it's my responsibility in some ways being on this earth to try and not be a continuation on that theme for people. Like to just try my best to make someone's life a little easier. Granted, this does not apply, in my mind, to abusive people.
That's a different thing.
But honestly, a lot of abusive people are traumatized people who are like, well, this is how I was treated, so I get to treat other people this way. It's wrong. Rand is being actively, horrifically abusive to everyone around him. And I'm like, I don't really get that logic. Yeah. I mean, it's not logical. It's completely irrational. It's purely all kinds of attachment issues and like dysregulated emotion. I know.
Yeah. And probably it's not self-loathing as well.
But I guess the logic behind it that I don't understand is, are you going to feel better being alone?
No, because he's violently suicidal. I mean, like, he's full of self-loathing and hoping to die. Like, he has this whole conversation. This is grim as fuck, everybody. But it's this part of the Wheel of Time. You know what you were getting into. We're going to do notes in a second. But it's this part of the Wheel of Time, and, you know, he's like, Nynaeve is like, gosh, I sure hope Lan doesn't die horribly. And Rand is like, yeah, if we could all be so lucky.
It's fucking selfish is what it is.
It is.
It's fucking selfish. Like, I'm sorry. Like, not being suicidal is not selfish.
No.
To be clear. But to...
It's a whole thing.
And
it's
I get mental health is a complicated topic, but there is a certain...
It's almost like we can't paint with a broad brush.
Yeah, of course. But there isn't a certain inherent... It's not necessarily his fault, per se, but there is a certain inherent selfishness in the way that he is behaving. I understand that he's going through a lot. I understand that there's a lot going on mentally. But I'm like, part of the reason the world is fucked up is because people take their shit out on other people.
That's a major part of what
it's a major part.
Up.
If you want the world to be better, start with you. Don't take your shit out on other people.
Help. Here's the thing. Speaking of start with, do you have any notes?
I do. I did. I took notes. Look at me. Be the change you want to see in the world.
Be the Rand you want to see in the Rand.
I'm sick of people taking their shit out on each other. It's just like, dude, that's like kindergarten shit, not to take your shit out on other people.
Why do we have to be mad at people when we can be mad at the fact that dental surgery exists?
Dental surgery is a good thing.
It is a good thing.
We need it to survive.
Yes, it is something we need, much like Rand needs to get through it. I needed to get through my dental surgery. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I know it makes people very uncomfortable sometimes.
Oh, does it? Oh, yeah.
Teeth? Yes.
Yeah, people can get, I understand. There are phobias in this world. If Rand doesn't do some character development soon, I swear to God, that's my first note.
Yeah.
If he doesn't do some character development, I will develop my foot in his ass.
I think that's appropriate.
Yeah. I think that I should be allowed to kick one person a year.
Is that person Rand Althor?
It's up to me.
Yeah.
Depends on the year. But this year, he'd be a strong candidate. I think he should be allowed to kick one person.
I may need to adjust.
Just give him a swift little kick.
The headphone.
Like, stop it.
Hurts my jaw. That's better.
No, I don't want that kind of responsibility, actually. But plus, I'd never actually utilize it. I'd just go, if I were to kick someone, it'd be you. If I were Nynaeve, I'd be crashing out right now. If you were going to fight a battle in the Blight that you were probably going to die doing, and I turned to a childhood friend and was like, please, can we do everything we can to make sure that he doesn't die? Like, I understand that he might, but can we do everything we can to help him? Because he's been a good mentor to you and has cared about you, and you care about me, and we grew up together, you fucking asshat. and somebody turned to me and was like, he'd be lucky to die. I would give them such a swift kick in the nads. Nynaeve has grown so much as a person that she did not absolutely clobber the fuck out of his face.
Yeah, he's really rough.
The one time I'm like, Nynaeve, this is the time to clobber somebody. She does. Like, everyone, let's acknowledge how much Nynaeve has grown and how much Rand has not.
And I can't help...
Nynaeve has learned not to take her shit out on people. And you know what? Personal growth, we will reward that. We will reward that and acknowledge that.
I can't help but feel like the book is deliberately holding up Rand's backwards progress against Nynaeve and mostly Egwene. More Egwene than anybody.
The women have developed so much as people.
Yeah.
And the men have not.
I think it depends. Well, Rand has gone through a lot, but I wouldn't say he's necessarily done very well since Moiraine died.
The men are all like, I don't want this responsibility. Yeah. And I'm like, well, that's tough. That's tough.
Perrin,
some days I don't want responsibility either, but we have it.
Perrin did really great until book 4, and then he's done whatever. Matt has grown a lot, but he doesn't want to acknowledge it.
By the way, everybody at this time is responsible in some small part for saving the world.
Yeah.
At this point, let's be real, the stakes are too fucking high. We are all responsible in some way toward shaping what the world looks like. That's what every generation is responsible for. Guess what? Never, ever has it been easy to be a human being on this planet.
No.
Never, ever. And the things that have gotten easier is through a lot of fucking hard work from people whose names you'll never goddamn know.
Yeah.
So the idea that somebody And all of these people, right? Perrin, Nynaeve, Egwene, whatever, all of them are taking responsibility for saving the world in some way, shape, or form. I don't see Egwene taking, like, Rand's pulling an Elida right now.
Kinda.
Like, if Rand were a woman, would we be putting up with this bullshit? I don't fucking think so. I don't fucking think so. I gotta be real with you.
Listen.
Like, if Egwene was behaving this way, she'd be the most hated character in the fandom.
Egwene,
Tell me I'm wrong.
You want to hear something that's going to piss you off?
What?
Egwene is one of the most hated characters
I'm gonna
in the fandom.
set this studio on fire.
Depending on who you talk about.
Absolutely okay. The only thing I can point
that we
to,
don't really talk to very much.
The only thing well, that's because there are people in this world who just fucking hate women, and that's
very
obvious.
true, yeah.
That's obvious. I can tell you. I see it in people's eyes when I walk down the street, whether or not they hate women at this point.
That's wild.
Because you know me, I'm like fucking. I can pick up on
but
that shit.
what were you gonna say about Rand?
So he is a dickhead.
Yes.
But if he was behaving, if a woman was behaving like this, by the way, that's Elida. The shit he's pulling it's hot Elida bullshit. The only difference between them at this moment, right, in terms of their behavior, in my mind, is that we got to see Rand develop into this and we didn't see Elida. And Elida's a woman and Rand is a man.
Yeah, and Rand is technically right that he's been chosen to do all this shit and Elida was not.
I'm like, you're telling me. Yeah. So Elida worked hard to get it. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing Elida worked hard to get it and Rand was handed it. So that's worse.
Yeah.
Rand's like the Nepo baby of the pattern.
The reluctant Nepo baby of the pattern.
And he just sucks his thumb and cries about how difficult it is. Meanwhile, I have my women out here in the trenches trying to get the power that they need. I've already lectured about this so many times.
Yeah, it comes up every book.
But it's making me goddamn insane.
This is...
And the idea that like everyone hates these women for like doing their goddamn job. Their goddamn best.
This is also one of the more egregious parts of the entire series of people wanting to give Rand a swift kick in the nads.
Oh, God. Like, I do not believe in kicking men in the balls unless absolutely necessary.
He's not real.
Like,
it's
self-defense kind of shit. But at this point, I'm like, I would kick him in the nads.
You would slap it. What we made that... Look, any more notes?
Like, how the fuck is Min with this guy? He is such a toxic asshole. Okay. If I were Nynaeve, oh yeah, I already said that. A meeting about having a meeting.
Yeah, you gotta have that shit.
I didn't know the Borderlands were so corporate.
They're gonna circle back and try to lay out the
let's have another
roadmap to
down the line.
Plot out their Q4 goals.
And I'm like, oh my God.
For the Synergy Initiative. Get the 411. It's great. After all that,
want to hit him. I just want to hit him.
After all of your fiddling with the bingo sheet, he didn't meet with the Borderlanders. He met with Hurin.
Well, God forbid he do anything. Every time he has to do anything, he cries about it.
And then he was a dickhead to Hurin.
I know.
Like his really big dickhead to Hurin. It's sad moment.
It's just actually inexcusable to me how he behaves.
It's pretty
bad. And
if
he were a woman, he would be the most hated character in fiction.
People would be pretty pissed,
yes.
I feel like.
Women do not get the luxury to crash out this goddamn hard.
Not really, no. That is Elida to an extent. That's a good comparison.
He is being Elida. People are going to come for me for that.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, me neither.
Whatever. He's not real.
I'm telling you the truth. Deal. Like, he's being a dick. And I'm sorry. Being depressed, being suicidal, all those things does not give you license to treat people however you want. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. And I understand mental health is a thing. Like, you can't always help how you behave. I get it. I've been there. I have crashed the fuck out at people. And you know what? Afterward, I took fucking accountability for it and changed my fucking behavior. You know what he has not done at all?
That.
We can talk about liking him when he does that kind of shit. But this is bullshit behavior. He needs to be called the fuck out. He needs to change his fucking attitude. The end of the world is goddamn miserable enough. Like, can you imagine having to deal with the times that we're in right now and someone's being a constant dick to you? I would fucking kill them. I am stressed 24 hours a day. You know what I'm doing about it? Community building. I'm throwing parties for my friends. We're gonna have beer pong and shit.
You know what's funny?
Because you know what? Fuck it. This is a hard time. And so I'm going to try to make life easier for people.
It's funny to me that we never got a plot of like good guys being like, we should kill him because he's gone too far.
I would be no, we did one time. There was like a couple people, but they were like NPCs.
One of them was Dark Friend.
And you know what? I would be sitting there going, okay, like low key, should we kill him? Like I don't want to be this person. I don't want to be this person. But he's a dick.
Maybe we die.
Honestly,
again, I'm not thinking very
like
clearly.
He's asking to be assassinated, which frankly is like so irresponsible considering that he has a job to do.
Well, he does actively want to not be. He wants to do the job and then die because he feels bad about all the stuff he's done. Which is, here's the, what's kind of funny to me.
Tough tits, dude.
I think about this sometimes. Every continent, every nation except for the last couple, he did pretty good.
Yeah.
So I'm not really... Yeah, he fucked up Eric Damon, and he...
But that wasn't his fault. That was the food problem.
That was the food and Grendel.
Like, they had the food coming. It's that, like, you know what we could do about that, by the way? Fix the problem as fast as possible. I mean, here's the thing. Have we tried making it rain bread? He is Magic Boy.
It's the other thing is I'm like, he's kind of batting...
He can do anything Jesus can do. Jesus fed the thousands.
He's kind of like batting 750 on countries because, yeah, there's been strife and turmoil and it's been rough, but most of the places he's been around doing okay.
I'm just saying, have we tried making it rain bread? He is magic.
I just think he could go easy on himself.
He made it rain
man.
in the desert.
I
feel like
he did. That was the thing.
Have we tried making the food grow with magic?
Actually, I said I do that sometimes. It doesn't really work right now. I think.
I'm just saying, have we seen Rand try it specifically?
No, he's in too bad of a mood for that.
See, this is the shit. He's just like, fuck it, not my problem. What do you mean it's not your fucking problem?
Wouldn't it be funny if he fixed his attitude and suddenly everything started working?
I bet it would. You know what? Here's the thing that you have to understand. To a certain extent, the world has always been hard. Always. I'm not saying that makes what's going on in the world right now okay. But to a certain extent, happiness is a choice. You can actively work on it. To a certain extent.
Yeah, it's a factor.
To a certain extent. It is a daily practice.
Yeah, not toxic positivity, by the way. That's different.
That's bullshit. What I'm talking about is trying to find, in some ways, reasons why life is worth living. Because I promise if you look, what you look for, you see. A lot of the time. Yeah. You can train your brain. I did. Through therapy. Through a lot of shit.
I've just noticed,
But it's an active practice all the time.
I've noticed that the more I joke about being upset, or the more I joke about, like, things going wrong and going, well, that sucked, the worse I feel.
Yes. You know why? Your brain hears what you say out loud. Your brain is a highly suggestible thing. Be very careful what you say about yourself,
especially
about your reality,
about
your world, about the people around you, because you manifest.
I hear my friends talk shit about themselves. I have a new person I very recently met, was introduced to by a friend. And they said, my friend said, oh, so-and-so actually founded this artistic collective. And the other person said, I was one of many people who founded it. And I don't know if I was just tired or if I just felt particularly comfortable. But I said, oh, okay, is that what we're doing? We're dumping on our own achievements and we're putting ourselves down because the world won't do it for us?
Right. The world's hard enough. Why are we being cruel to ourselves?
And apparently that person has talked to my friend about that like 15 times.
Why are you being your own bully?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, don't fucking do that.
Don't fucking do that. You are literally manifesting.
Downplay your own accomplishments, Rand. You conquered half the world, and yeah, you could have done some parts better, but
Like, here's the thing. Here's the thing, too. Like, that's not to say you can't vent. That's not to say you can't.
Of course, that's different.
Feel your feelings. It's just you have to realize that, like, there's a certain extent to which you can train your brain to focus on things that are positive. You can train your brain to look for happiness and things to be happy about. And guess what? You create your own reality to a certain extent. Like, if you're having a bad fucking mental health day, I always go like, I'm having a bad day. I'm not having a bad life. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or I go, I'm having a bad hour. That doesn't mean I'm going to have a bad day.
Yeah.
Like, you can do that for yourself. You can say, okay, this hour was not great, what can I do to make the next hour a little bit better than it was a second ago?
Well, or like,
can I fucking do an adult coloring book or some shit? Like, how can I regulate my emotions in the next hour?
There was a thing I read once, like, if you had a great dinner, really great appetizer, fantastic wine pairing, excellent main course, delightful aperitif, and then dessert wasn't great. Is that going to ruin the meal?
You know what? And for some people, it does.
Some people
go on fucking, like, whatever the fuck that website
Yelp.
is called. Oh, God. And, like, they leave a review that, like, review bombs the restaurant for one thing they don't fucking like. And it's just silly.
You know what I do really enjoy?
What?
When people write Yelp reviews with, like, M. Night Shyamalan level twists. You've read these fucking things.
No,
they
what do
tickle
you
me
mean?
so much. Where you scroll through Yelp as I do, because I want to see what people say about a restaurant that I do or do not like. Either way is fine. Mm-hmm. And you get to a review and it says see more because it only shows you part of the text. You click on it and it opens up to this beautiful 5-page essay, and I go, oh, this is gonna be great. And it's like 2 stars or some shit. And it starts, and it goes like, the service was great. We were seated by such and such person on a lovely Thursday night after having gone to see a movie with my new friend, Caitlin. And I thought maybe we should try a bite. I'd heard a lot of great things. And they go on and on and on and on and on. And they set the stage.
I was like, who has the time?
And it's, sure, good creative writing, whatever.
Sure.
And then, upon being seated, our lovely server, Mark, came and asked us if we, this, that, and the other, at which point we ordered our drinks. However, and I got, here we go. And I'm just like, when you see however in a Yelp review, you know you're going to have it. Because it's a 2-star review and they've spent 17 pages talking about how great their night was and like how they got laid the day before and all this shit that has absolutely no fucking bearing on the
laid
dinner.
the day before.
Yeah, and it's just like, it doesn't have shit to do with shit, but they just yap
they go on
about
YouTube
it for
and
a
rate
while.
that as well?
Probably. And then they go on and on and on. And then the review is like, all of this stuff about how great the dinner was, but then it's, however, the people at the table next to us were speaking very loudly about how they think that Seven is an excellent film. And I was appalled. It ruined my night, and I wish that I hadn't gotten laid the day before, because now I can't see him without thinking about how much I hate the movie Seven. And I told Mark, the server, who was also a friend of mine, I had forgotten to mention, that I didn't appreciate the people who were talking about the film Seven because I think that it's reductive tripe. And then he couldn't do anything about it. 1.5 stars, rounded up to 2 because the tiramisu was delicious. I fucking love that shit.
Oh, that sounds great.
It's
actually,
great.
I can't engage in that kind of shit lately because it just depresses me. I'm like, it makes me sad. It makes me sad that people are like that.
This is why I don't do anything anymore. I'm kidding. I don't do anything.
No, we do a lot, actually. We
do a lot,
We have been trying really hard, I think, to like find the joy in our lives.
This is why I'm currently playing Final Fantasy X, a famously depressing game, after having finished Claire Obscure Expedition 33, a famously depressing game.
Yeah, hopefully hosting... Well, we're hosting a barbecue on Friday for our friends.
I'm reading a book about the mafia,
beautiful.
A famously depressing kind of history.
We're going to have beer pong and Jell-O shots and darts and stuff. Shot? Oh, yeah. I didn't tell you. Today, your dad and I decided we were going to make Jell-O shots for the party.
Great.
I know. It's not going to be
a thrill.
And see, this is the thing. This is my version of touching grass because I'm like, listen, the world is tough right now. So we need to be like building community, taking care of one another, making Jell-O shots for people, like doing, and it doesn't have to be big shit.
No.
It doesn't have to be big shit. You could do a little movie night. Popcorn is not that expensive.
Well, I can't eat popcorn right now.
Well, whatever. It's an example.
I'm kidding.
But like...
And that's why the world's out to get me, because I can't eat... Yeah.
But some people are like that.
And you don't need to do that. And I understand that theirs is complicated. But,
like, yes, life is complicated. Life is hard. But not everyone's trying to do things to you.
Here's the thing. I am trying to inflict an ad break upon you. So we'll be right back. I can't pause. Why can't... Oh, I didn't have the keyboard on. welcome back.
I'm gonna be real. I've never questioned a decision to procreate with someone as hard as I am questioning Elaine's decision to procreate with Rand.
Well, she was horny and young at the time.
That is not a reason to have a baby.
It was the apocalypse.
These are not reasons to have a baby.
And also...
These are poor reasons. These are bad baby making reasons.
I can't think of any other reason. That confused the shit out of me too when I first read. I was like, really?
There are objectively bad reasons to get pregnant, and these are among the top.
Here's the thing.
I'm young, horny, and it's the apocalypse.
Not
all
great.
Terrible reasons.
Did you finish your notes?
I did. I only had 3 notes.
Oh my God.
Anyway, I don't want to talk about Rand anymore, so that's the end of the episode.
We have to talk about Rand for at least the next 25 to 30 minutes.
No, we're done.
Okay.
I hate him.
Here's the thing.
I just can't fuck with people. I'm so sorry.
If you're sick of talking about...
fuck with people...
Rand...
Who... Wait, can I finish?
No.
Wait, I can't... Wait, I'm sorry. You were talking first.
I'm kidding.
Finish.
Please finish.
No, you finish.
I'm being facetious. Go ahead.
So, I just can't fuck with people who take shit out on people. I'm sorry. You can be having a hard time, but don't give other people a hard time.
If you're sick of talking about Rand,
always,
may I recommend hopping over to Babble On, our other podcast that I'm inserting a little advertisement for right now. And listening to Allie and myself and Lesby Nerdy and Jen Sedai talk about Babylon 5, the science fiction show written by J. Michael Straczynski that aired in the 90s. It's great, fun, and it's also on YouTube. Anyway, back to Rand.
Yeah. And if you like, you can watch our watch-along thing, or whatever it's called. What do they call them?
Live reaction videos? I guess they're not live.
You can drop a comment about how you're mad that we're talking during...
We get a lot of those, man. We get so many fucking comments on this series where it's like, I can't believe they talked over the line moon-faced assassin of joy. They didn't even hear it. And I'm like, I can talk and listen at the same time. And also, sorry that I wasn't looking out for the meme line that I don't fucking know about.
We've never seen this show before.
It's great, man.
We don't know when it's safe to talk.
Great.
I just think it's so funny. And it's always me. People always have a fucking problem with me. And I'm like, it just makes me like me more.
Somebody once commented on it. They were like, could you please stop cutting away from the episode? I would like to watch the episode.
And I'm like, my brother in Christ.
That is called copyright infringement, and it's frowned upon. Chapter 44, Sense Unknown. Tarwin's Gap is the place that makes the most sense, Nynaeve argued. She and Rand rode on an overgrown... Nynaeve was astride a pure... Rand goes, no. The more I think about it, the more I realize we don't want to fight at Tarwin's Gap. Lan is doing me a favor. If I can coordinate an assault alongside his own, I can gain great advantage. But I don't want to distract my armies with the Gap. It would be a waste of resources. And she's like, my husband is going to go and die there. Could we not do that?
I would, the way I would lose, the meltdown that I would have. She's stronger than me, dude. She's stronger than me.
Nynaeve goes, we have to attack there. Ituralda says that the Blight is swarming with Trollocs. The Dark One is gathering his forces. You can bet that the bulk of them will be at the Gap, where it's easiest to get through and strike at Andor and Kyrian.
The Gap, buying some jeans.
I just did that.
I know.
This podcast is brought to you by The Gap. It's not, but the fact that you can't see my butt crack when I bend over is. Too much information? You decide.
Oh my God.
I'm not even on heavy painkillers. I'm on Advil.
You're like, I'm just a delight.
Oh, I have to take my antibiotic. I'll do it in a minute.
Okay.
Rand, oh my God. Okay. And Rand goes, that is exactly why we will not attack at the Gap, Nynaeve. They make banger pants. We cannot let the enemy dictate our battlefield. And then he starts talking to Luz Theron. Oh, no, I'm sorry, he doesn't. She goes, Rand, there is no way that Lan has been able to gather a large enough force to hold back a mass assault by the Trollocs. Particularly not with most of the Borderlander armies doing light only knows what down here. He'll be overrun, and the Trollocs will invade. And Rand is like, don't talk to me about the Borderlanders. I'm pissed as shit whenever I think about those fuckers. I like to slap the shit out of them. And in fact, I will. And she's like, okay. And Rand goes, the Trollocs will invade? Yes. Good. It'll keep them occupied as I do what needs to be done. And she's like, well, what about my husband? He's like, it's great, man. He's going to distract the Trollocs and then fucking die. Because I got to deal with everything else.
What the fuck, dude? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Now, from a purely utilitarian, tactical perspective, some of what he's saying makes sense. Where he's like, distract him over there, and then I'll deal with this, and I'll defend the Southlands, and fuck the Borderlands, because they're not doing what they want to do. This gets petty a little bit. Where he's like, the Borderlanders aren't doing what they're supposed to do anyway, which is true, by the way. It is a little bit weird that they're just chilling downstate. Is it not?
Yeah.
Do we know what they want to do yet? Have we actually learned yet since Book 8? What's our money on? Talk to him? Punch him in the dick? If it's
talk to him, I'm going to roll my eyes so hard they get stuck there.
Slap the shit out of him?
Like,
just slap the shit out of him,
I can't think of what else it would be. Like, there's no prophecy about the Borderlands.
What if there's a prophecy that they got to slap the shit out of him?
They just each slap him one at a time.
Slap the shit out of him.
Honestly, I'd be so here for it. I'd be like, yeah, I'll do it. Slap him again. Do a flip and then slap him. Oh, my God. Well, I'm trying to think, like, what else is there? Like, we got introduced to the Blight as a concept in the show pretty early, not to bring up a sore subject, but...
I miss it. I'm sad.
I know.
Book 1, though. Book 1 as well, we were in the Blight.
Hey, who knows? Things could turn around.
Yeah.
You never know.
The Shan would wage... Well, hold on. Rand is like, yeah, fuck the Borderlands, I guess, because they're not doing what they need to do. My duty is to kill the Dark One. I kill him, then I die. That's all. But that is enough, Nynaeve. And Nynaeve is like, you get a lot of people up in the Borderland. Don't give a fuck if you kill the Dark One if they all got eaten in a not fun way. And she thinks to herself, it's a Nynaeve point of view, by the way. The Shan would wage their war to the south and the west. The Trollocs would attack from the north and the east. The two would meet, eventually. Andor and the other kingdoms would be turned into a massive battleground. The people there, good people like those in the Two Rivers, would have no chance against such warfare. They'd be crushed.
And Rand's like, yeah, but I'm the real victim here.
Rand is like, well, that's their problem for being a little bitch-ass, fuck-dick shit boy.
Well, now they're at peace. And I'm like, fuck you, dude. Fuck you. Like, just fuck you, man. Like, God, just fuck you.
I missed this. She goes, Rand, Lan will die. And Rand goes, then who am I to deny him that?
Oh, my God.
We all deserve the chance to find peace. And she's like, brother, what the hell? So...
this is your childhood friend. This is someone who you grew up with talking to you. Like I'd never speak to him again. I'd be like, great. You know what? Fuck you. I hope you fail. I hope the whole world fucking dies. I hope it all dies in front of you and you know in the last moments of your life that you fucking failed for talking about my goddamn husband like that. I hope that the last thing you fucking see is my goddamn face flipping you the goddamn bird. Fuck you, you absolute fuckhead buffoon. No, seriously? Seriously. I would be so goddamn pissed. Because regardless, even if Rand is like, yeah, there's nothing I can do, have the decency to be like contrite about it.
He doesn't do that.
Don't weirdly gloat about Lan's fate. Does he hate her? Does he hate her?
No, Allie. Remember, he has no emotions. He's as hard as Quendiar.
Oh, so he's the comment section on Reddit? Save your 14-year-old edgelord bullshit for the fucking 4chan, you piece of shit.
So
I don't care about stuff. Let me post a video of people dying. Just because I want to ruin someone's fucking day. Go fuck yourself, my dude. Honestly, no one likes you.
So they walk
No one likes people like that.
They walk by this.
You know how you're guaranteed to have a shitty life? Keep acting that way.
Yeah. They walk by this farmer.
Good God.
And the farmer is like kind of he's nervous.
And you know what? No one will be sad when you fucking die.
They're in tear, and Rand is there's a farmer, and his farm looks like shit, and he's got like a quarterstaff and stuff.
Just imagine using your precious fucking time on Earth to be this much of a shithead. Like, he's like, I've got months left. Better make it so everyone fucking hates me before I go.
And she's trying to figure out how to help, and she goes, well, Cadsaway needed me to find Perrin Ibarra. Don't know how the fuck that'll help, but I guess I'll try. And she just goes, Rand, do you know where Perrin is? And Rand is like, that's a really shitty way to be cagey and ask me that question. He's busy. Why? I'm still worried about him. And about Matt. You're particularly unaccustomed to lying, aren't you, Nynaeve? She's like, don't be a dick. I am actually worried about him. He has a peaceful, unassuming nature, and always did let his friends push him around too much. Rand is like, yeah.
Who's you talking about?
Perrin. He goes, I wouldn't say peaceful, though.
Okay, and what is that judgment? What is that judgment, sir? You committed a fucking war crime like 10 minutes ago. You killed a whole... What are you talking about? What are you talking...
So give me the rundown of this very...
I feel like I'm full David after dentisting. You know what I'm talking about? Remember that video of that child?
Dentist? You're going to talk about the dentist in this trying time? No, actually, it was great.
You're right.
I wouldn't call it great. It was fine. It was well performed. I was 10 out of 10 teeth. Okay. No, they only took... I'm done. Okay. What? Give me the rundown of this Perrin conversation, my dear. It's incredibly brief.
Can you tell me where he is? And he's like, no.
Yeah, that's it. And he doesn't talk about the fact that he can see Perrin in his head. And then they ride for a while, and they get to where do they fucking go? They're riding around, and we get some history on this crossroads. And Narishma's there, and she's like, "Hey, what's up with all the Borderlander rulers being weird as fuck?" And Narishma's like, "I don't fucking know. Why do you? I haven't been there in 5-6 books since the fucking Black Tower shit. I don't know anything about anything. I was just a guy, and now I'm an Ashaman." Because they do what they say they're going to do, and that's all I got for you. And she's like, God damn it, the fucking Borderlanders pissing everybody off. And Narishma, how does Narishma feel about the Borderlanders being down here?
How does Rand feel about it?
Narishma.
Oh, he's like, not a fan.
Yeah, he's like, a Borderlander's place is guarding the border. I was a cobbler's son, and yet I was trained with the sword, spear, bow, axe, and sling. Even before joining the Ashaman, I could best 4 out of 5 trained southern soldiers in a duel. We lived to defend, and yet they left. Now, of all times. With 13 Aes Sedai, I want to trust them. I know them for good people, but good people can do the wrong thing, particularly when men who can channel are involved. And she's like,
Rand
damn.
is like, you know how I'm going to assuage their fears? You know what I'm going to do to make them feel better? I'm going to threaten to fucking murder
Going to be a
them.
gigantic dick to one of my oldest friends in the book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, threaten to kill him.
Yeah.
Threaten to kill everyone he's been traveling
his
with.
ass up. And Nynaeve was like, damn, Narishma, you're right, probably. Pete, you want to go back over there? Where you going? Pete?
Petey, how you doing? You want to come up here?
Hang on. In a world where aliens scheme, space stations loom, and collars defy all fashion sense,
collarless shirts are for chefs and Mennonites.
4 nerds set out on a mission.
Are we the approved species this?
I do appreciate his use of the word slut.
To rediscover the future
1990 Homer is all I'm gonna say.
of Babylon 5.
Where is Space HR?
You don't want to talk about the vanishing giant space station?
Mike the Vorlon.
I love that. Mike the Vorlon. That nobody had emotional intelligence
Nobody
in the
understood
90s.
that men had emotions.
Join us in the Zocalo, where first-timers' predictions run wild.
Am I the bad guy? I'm saying bad guy stuff.
I'm inclined to trust Delenn in most things.
And the Grey Council, where spoilers reign supreme.
What happens in Grey Council stays in Grey Council.
I guess.
Exactly.
Babylon, a Babylon 5 podcast. Because the future deserves a rewatch. So, she thinks about Rand. She thinks about the Aiel come in. They're like, hey, yeah, I gotta tell you, man, you told him not to bring more than 5 guys, more than 200 guys, and no more than 4 Aes Sedai. They fucking crushed that shit. They absolutely A+ your request. They have great honor because the Aiel are actually funny as fuck in my experience. And why is this funny as fuck?
Because it's so obviously a trap.
No. I mean, why is what the maidens say is funny as fuck? Say
it again.
Rand goes, did they do as I asked? Did they bring no more than 200 men? No more than 4 Aes Sedai? She goes, yes, Randalthor, yes. They kept to your requirements admirably. They have great honor.
Well,
why is this a funny joke?
Because they just send one dude.
No, it's not sarcasm. He said, you can't bring more than 200 people. And she says, well, they didn't.
But yeah.
Tell you what, you said 200. They said, we'll do you one better.
That's what I said.
It wasn't sarcasm, no.
It's like, oh yeah, they kept well within your boundaries. Dude.
Yeah, perhaps I'm being pedantic and quibbling over unnecessary points.
You?
Never happened before.
No, you're amazing.
And Rand is like, what the fuck are these assholes up to? One man, Randalthor. That is all that their delegation consists of. He's a short little thing of a man, though he looks like he knows how to dance the spears. The crossroads is behind this hill. And Nynaeve is like, what the dick? And Nynaeve is like, what the dick? And Rand is like, what the dick? And so they go up there, and who is it?
It's Huron.
Huron! Lake Huron!
He's probably like, I'll go talk to him, you guys. We go a long way back. We'll get along like hotcakes. He'll be so happy to see me. And then Rand comes and is like Darth Vader's his ass.
Pretty much, yeah.
Which is so unnecessary. Like, the whole thing is so unnecessary.
Sweet baby-faced Huron is so excited to see Rand.
Nothing about this is necessary. Everything about it is dumb. And I hate it. And I hate it. And I think it's silly. And I think he's being just a butthead. He's a butthead.
Rand busts in and Huron's standing there. He goes, why, Lord Rand, it is you. Well, you've certainly come up in the world, I must say. Good to... Because then Rand picks him up with air.
Why? What is the reason? What is the reason? What is the need? This is my thing. I'm like, do you just want to look like the evilest fuck in the world? Do you want people to start trying to kill you?
And Rand,
and you know what would happen if he was being such an evil seeming fuck that people tried to kill him? He'd be feeling sorry for himself. He'd be like, nah, I try to do everything right and people still try to kill me. I'm like, I would be like, I am going to boil you alive like a lobster.
Now, you've been crashing out on and off for about 2 books where you've been like, if Rand gets over this by realizing that he's going to have children, I will light the studio on fire.
Could you imagine being like, okay, just everyone else in his life where he's like, my life was completely meaningless and I didn't give a shit about anything until the babies were born? Imagine being Elaine.
Pretty rough, man.
Imagine being Elaine in that situation. But you know what? This happens. People will be like, oh, yeah, it wasn't until I had daughters that I realized women were people. And I'd be like,
I have heard that before.
I would be the woman in that situation being like, the fuck?
Skirt?
The fuck?
Roll it back.
Sir? It wasn't until I became a father that I realized, like, it was worth being a good person.
Listen.
I don't think that kind of person should be a parent.
Will that happen?
If it takes
the only
having
way
a
to find out.
First of all, that's a hell of a gamble because there are plenty of people that have children that don't become better people. That's a hell of a gamble. But yeah, if he's like, oh, it's my children that make... No, bro. No. Just no.
You'll have to read and find out.
Rand is one of the most selfish motherfuckers in this fucking book series. I'm sorry. I don't care that he's mentally ill. Like, there's a lot of really nice mentally ill people.
Well, what do you say? It's an explanation. It's not an excuse.
Yes. 2 things can be true.
So Rand picks up
nuance.
Huron and goes, who chased after you and me, Huron? The time when we were trapped in that distant shadowland. What nationality of men did I fell with the bow? And Huron goes, men?
There weren't any.
Lord Rand, there were no men in that place, none that we met, beyond Lady Celine. That is, all I remember are those frog beasts. Same ones folks say those Shanchan ride.
The frogmen.
And Rand does a 360 around him, and Rand goes, "You don't believe that I'm me, Lord Rand?"
Last time I saw you, you killed Frog and Toad.
And Rand is like, "I don't believe anything."
Oh my God.
Doesn't say that verbatim, but that's essentially what he says.
Oh my God.
I love how pissed off
He's
you
just
are.
a fucking YouTube commenter. He's got nothing better to do. Got nothing better to do than see that there's somebody out there trying to put shit out to entertain you for goddamn free. And you have the balls to complain about the quality of that fucking content. You know what? Go goddamn choke on your own fucking fist. You absolute scum motherfucker. Like just he is a walking, talking YouTube comment. He is an AI bot of death. Just out here going, I'm going to also commit war crimes because my existence isn't annoying enough.
So Rand puts him down and goes, "Why only you?" Well,
I told them we were friends, but apparently you like to choke out your fucking friends.
he didn't choke him, technically.
By the way, if I saw this, I would immediately assume that the bruises around fucking Min's neck were DV.
He goes, "They did tell you." He hesitated, seeming distracted by something. He sniffed audibly. "Now that's strange. Never smelled that before."
War crimes?
"What?" I don't know. The air. It smells like a lot of death, a lot of violence, only not. It's darker, more terrible." And Rand is like, "Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. You think I give a fuck? I haven't had a feeling in 30 years, and I'm only 22.
I'm sorry. Rand's giving me school shooter vibes.
He kind of.
Am I wrong?
No. And he goes, "Why did they only send you?" He goes, I was saying, Lord Rand, see, this here, we're to discuss terms regarding your armies moving back where they belong. No, Lord Rand, terms for setting up a real meeting with them. That part in their letter was kind of vague, I guess. They said you might be angry to find only me here. They were wrong.
This is what toxic men think leadership is.
They were wrong. I no longer feel anger herein. It serves me no useful function.
Yeah, clearly.
Why would we need terms to meet together? I presumed that my offer to bring only a small force would be acceptable.
Yeah, you seem so chill and calm and cool and collected.
Well, Lord Rand, you see, they really want to meet with you. I mean, we came all this way, marched through the bloody winter itself. My pardon, I said but it was a bloody winter.
You know what's wild to me about this too? I'm so sorry, but this to him would be the equivalent of like a Google Meet, essentially, right? Like, he would just basically have to Zoom his way into this. Like, he can teleport. This will take him, I don't know, 20 minutes.
There is one wrinkle with the way they want to meet with him.
Well, they want him to go, like,
to Farmatting, yeah.
And I'd be like, well, they probably don't know I can teleport.
He can't teleport into Farmatting.
Why not?
There's you can't channel in Farmatting.
Oh, well, then I'd be like, hey, let's meet outside of Farmatting. Cool?
Yeah,
cool.
And they're not going to go for that is the issue.
Well, then, you know what? That's tough then. That's tough. Then I'm probably not going to go. And that's a boundary. That's called a boundary. Be like, listen, that's a boundary for me. I'm going to give you a boundary. My boundary is that I'm not going to walk into what was probably an obvious trap.
You see, they want to meet with you very badly.
Okay, cool.
But, well, last time you were in Farmatting, Rand held up a finger. Huron quieted and all grew still. Even the horses seemed to hold their breaths.
Oh my God.
The Borderlanders are in Farmatting.
Imagine you're such a bad vibe to be around that the animals
horses
don't fuck with you.
Yes, Lord Rand. They want to meet with me there. Yes, Lord Rand, you'll have to come inside the protection of the Guardian, you see. And he goes, shut the fuck up, Huron. Shut the fuck up. And then he drops him and makes a gateway 20 feet to the right.
They literally say don't shoot the messenger. Like, why are we being...
Well, he doesn't kill Huron. Here's fine.
I know, but like, why are we being like this?
He makes a gateway 20 feet to the right of his first gateway.
Tell him, you go back there and you tell him that's a boundary.
Why does he do this? He makes a gateway basically from here to the end of the block.
I didn't really understand this part.
Yeah, okay. We're fucking with magic
I'm
rules
sure it's
now.
metaphysics time.
It is, and it's apparently... what do you need to know to travel somewhere?
You need to know the location.
Which location?
Oh, so he like looked around the location first and then created the means.
No.
Oh.
What do you need in order to travel from a place?
You need to know what the location is.
That you're going to or coming from?
That you're coming from.
You need to know the area you're leaving from extremely well.
So I'm saying he's looking at the area first before going.
Kind of. There's
so that
also...
he can basically just like gateway again.
Yeah, kind of. So, yeah. There's this weird loophole where if you gateway to a place, you immediately have an innate understanding of that place. And also, you don't need to know a place to gateway a short distance. So he gateways 30 feet over, immediately learns where he is, and then he can gateway anywhere from there. Does this make any fucking sense? No. Do I care?
No.
No.
It's a loophole.
Doesn't make any difference to me. I don't give a fuck. This is right up there with Trollocs can't go through gateways and things where I'm like, you know what? Okay. We solved a problem.
Who cares?
Good for us.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I just...
But you know what does make sense?
What?
Magic battles in the fucking sky. I'm never going to let it go.
Listen.
Oh, I had another thought.
What?
Huron. You know what makes perfect sense? Although I guess the text does go, nobody knows how this shit works.
A man who can sniff violence?
That is literally an Always Sunny
that's
episode.
fun.
That is literally the movie
it's truly such a funny power, because like, what do you do with
great,
that?
and I love it. It's the movie that Dennis and Charlie come up with in the fucking, in the M. Night Shyamalan
Oh my
episode.
God, it is.
Yeah, Dolph Lundgren is the nose.
Huron's
busting
the
head.
nose.
He sniffs crime. He goes out. He's busting heads. Then back to the lab for outrageous sexual activities with this busty young lab assistant. Crime, whatever it is. And here's the thing: we show it. We show all of it. I love Always Sunny so much. And then it's just Dennis Reynolds sitting on the couch going, crime. And then he goes back to the lab for some full penetration. Crime, penetration, crime, penetration, crime, blah, 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 blah. Crime, penetration. And this just goes on for about 90 minutes or so until the movie just sort of ends. This is Rand describing the last battle.
That's Rand's fucking life with
He's out,
men.
he's busting dark friend heads, then back to Kyrian for some
Full of penetration with men. Well, because sometimes, listen, sometimes I'm like, a man wrote this. I just am. Like, sometimes with this fucking book, I'm like, a man wrote this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Two men.
I'm sorry. It couldn't be more apparent sometimes that a man wrote this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
There are just moments where I'm like, a man wrote that. And that's why I feel personally like, for some reason, Rand's only going to be a good person once he's a father. I'm just like, I just see it coming like a fastball to the face. It's going to be a fastball to the face. And I'm just going to go, I hate this.
Listen.
And I feel bad because I know you all love this. And I love this too. I know that might not be clear to you all the time.
What if that's not what happens?
Okay.
That might not be what happens.
Okay.
It might be what happens, but it might not be what happens. Maybe he gets over it because he discovers his love for being out busting heads, sniffing crime, and then heading back to the lab for full penetration.
Where they show all of it.
We show it.
We show
all of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel...
Imagine a scientist named Dolph Lundgren. I'm sorry, I'll stop.
It just makes me...
It's either this or I talk about dental surgery, you guys.
It's either this or I talk at length for longer about why Rand makes me want to punch someone. Like, I've never been more violent than reading this chapter. Actually, that's not true.
No,
obviously,
you've been more violent.
reading the news. But like...
Yeah, well, and most of Crown of Swords and about half of Book 9.
Oh,
like
yeah.
every time Perrin showed up in Book 9.
I forgot about a cactus of cactus.
Most do.
You know what? Because I finished that book and went, I will never think about this book again.
That's the vibe.
Like, if I were to do a reread, here's what I would do. I'd do New Spring, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the end.
You wouldn't read...
No, I'd read this book. None
of 6?
I'd skip some of the Rand chapters.
I would skip the first half of 6.
Yeah.
And then I would read the end of 6.
No, you're right.
Cherry pick for a little while. I'd read A Cup of Sleep.
What
am I fucking talking about? I'm reading the entire series again right now, and I probably will again at some point. But whatever.
I'm sure we will read this series again.
I have no doubt. Weirdly, I am already planning my Malazan reread.
Of course you are. You love Malazan.
So good.
I know you love Malazan.
It's great.
Here's the thing. Rand makes me want to scream
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah. And
I think that he is a not great person at this moment.
I would argue that he's Darth Rand now. I don't think
he's not. He's an abusive partner, right? He's an abusive friend.
Is he an abusive partner?
Emotionally, I think.
Sure.
Very like withholding and distant and confusing and gaslighty and like I don't like how he conducts himself at all. He is not like caring for Min's emotional needs, and that may be because I have, anxious attachment issues. But you know what I like about the book Attached? Everyone should read it.
Is that the book that your
therapist made me read?
Told you to read?
Yes, and I'm reading it because I do my homework. And that if you want to advance in therapy, when your therapist tells you to read something, you should probably do that. Audiobooks count as reading. I'm not going to get in that argument. Anyway, whatever. So, you know what I like about it though? It doesn't demonize any of the attachment styles. It's like,
that's nice.
Actually, there's reasons why you're that way. And like, honestly, what you should look for in your life to have a happy life is people who either you have the ability to recognize other people's attachment styles and adapt to those attachment styles as needed, or you go, you know what? I'm a person that has certain needs in relationships because of whatever I've been through. And so I'm going to seek out people who make my attachment style feel more secure.
Cool.
And it's like, you can do either of those things. And I'm like, you know what? Hell yeah.
You know what else you can do?
What?
Stick around and listen to these ads. That segue blew. Okay, we're back. Rand makes a gateway. He short hops. He backwards long jumps up the stairs. He clips through the fucking star door.
Should I just
Mario 64
firebomb?
shit.
He's just like, and should I just firebomb formatting for giggles? And I'm like, no.
He goes up. He's looking at the thing, and they look at formatting, and we're like, yeah, we were here at the end of book 9. It was that fun little detective Nynaeve. No, that was book 11. Fun little detective shit. It was cool, fun, good time. We all had a great time, and then everybody had a bad time.
He's like, you know what I'm going to do? You remember that calendar incident? I'm going to learn nothing from that, actually.
He's not doing very well. A very large army.
I don't care.
Was encamped around the lake, perhaps covering more ground than formatting itself. And she looks at this.
Here's the thing. If he were a woman, it wouldn't matter what he was going through.
And
no one would care. No one would care.
I'm gonna need to
No one would care.
I'm gonna need to bring Bree on
This is
sometime.
male privilege at its goddamn finest.
Because Bree's been in the fandom way longer than I have, and I have mostly avoided the parts of the fandom that are like Nynaeve or Egwene is the worst and most villainous, evil.
What are you talking about?
Horrible monster kid. Like, there's some fucking people.
Why? Because she was mean to Rand once, probably.
I don't read their arguments, so I don't really care.
My
but
God.
someday I'll get. And if you try to start that shit with me, I'm not listening. That was not to you, Ellie. That was to them.
No, I'm going to fight you right now.
That's fine.
I'm going to tell you, Egwene is the worst woman. I don't like women personally, and I think Egwene is
How long are you going to keep this up? There you go. But yeah, we need Bree on here just to kind of talk
because
about that.
I don't like my mom.
That's funny.
No, like literally when people say shit like that, I'm like, man, do you hate your mom?
So Nynaeve is like,
who hurt you? Was it mommy?
Nynaeve is like, it's this fucking the dog is having an absolute fucking freak out running in his sleep, but he's curled up. So basically his whole body is just thrashing. Okay, and then he stopped. So there's a farmad, and Rand goes, they'll know we've come. They'll have been waiting for it. They expect me to ride into their box. And Nynaeve is like, and he goes, the city is a box. The whole city and the area around it. They want me where they control me. But they don't understand. Nobody controls me. Not anymore.
Oh my God.
I've had enough of boxes and prisons, of chains and ropes. Never again will I put myself into the power of another. Rand, you got control issues.
Good God. Like, I honestly, if I had a psych degree, I'd have a field day with this shit.
And then he whips it out.
What?
What does he whip out?
The little man tarot reel?
Not the little man.
Oh, the bigger
Not
man.
the little fat man.
The little bigger
we
man.
love the little fat man. The little fat man is a sign that things are going well. He whips out the chode and call.
Oh, yes. It's such a bad idea to carry that on his person.
It's a horrible fucking idea. So he whips out the chode and call, and she's like, why did you bring the small portable nuclear
Why did you bring the
device?"
magic chode?
And he goes, perhaps they need to be taught, given encouragement to do their duty and obey me. And Nynaeve was like, wait, flag on the play, flag, hold, whoa, no, And then he starts, because, by the way, Rand, completely obsessed with boxes now, in a very overt way, since Demise Wells. But I feel like even more so since, like, book 12, 10, 11. Has this gotten more significant to you since recent times? His obsession with boxes, his overt obsession with boxes.
Has it gotten more significant?
It's gotten more explicit to me.
I mean,
like,
yeah.
It's always been there, but I feel like this is something where Brandon was kind of like, I'm gonna make it external.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess it's just kind of, in my mind, a continuation of like, I will not be used. I will not be this. I will not be that. He loves to say what he will not be.
Yeah. I will not be joining you for brunch.
And I mean, it's kind of a reflection on where Egwene was at one time, where she's like, I will not be chained again.
Yeah, for one chapter at the top of book 3.
Well, that's because women's trauma makes them unlikable, Gus. Obviously.
So, I mean, I guess
there's
she
no
killed a bunch of
space
people.
for women in their drama.
So he goes,
Who did? Egwene?
She killed all the captive Aes Sedai. We talked about that. It was complicated.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that is real, but she's not like putting that on anyone.
No.
The worst thing you could be in literature is annoying, and Rand is annoying.
He goes, they want to capture me, hold me, beat me. They did it once in Farmatting already. Rand? And she goes, these are not slaves with their minds already burned away by Grendel. That is an entire city full of innocent people.
Do you want people to start thinking that maybe we should assassinate you? Because this is how it starts. This is how that happens.
I wouldn't harm the people of the city. That army deserves the demonstration, not the city.
Okay,
a rain of fire upon them, perhaps, or lightning to strike and bite.
I'm pretty sure the army's in the city with the other... Oh, okay. All right, but question. What if your aim's not that good?
It's a big army.
Remember the Kalendor issue where we started killing our own dudes? Do you remember that? I remember that.
They have done... but Allie, remember, that was with Kalendor, and Kalendor is a box because it requires you to be friends with women, and women have cooties.
Well, women, what do women have if not boxes? So Rand should never fuck again. Vaginas. Vulvas. That's the technical term. That's actually the correct term. Vagina is just the hole. And just so everyone knows. It's a little anatomy pet peeve of mine.
Oh my god. Okay. Rand thinking about boxes all the time, and he's about to fucking wipe the Borderlanders out, basically. And she goes,
it's so fragile. It's so like I just
they have done nothing other than ask you to meet with them. And then
if Rand were a woman, they'd call her emotional.
She goes, Rand, he goes, I have no emotions. Rand, if you do this, there will be no turning back.
That's what drives it. He's like, I have no emotions. Proceeds to be such an emotional little bitch. I'm sorry. What are you talking about?
There's already no turning back for me, Nynaeve. His eyes were intense. Those eyes shifted, sometimes seeming gray, sometimes blue. Today they looked iron gray. My feet started on this path the moment Tam found me crying on that mountain. You don't have to kill anyone today. Please. And then he goes, Perrin! He yells, and she's like, he's releasing his anger a little bit. He must be really pissed off.
I have to kill anyone. I would love to kill someone today. That's my favorite thing to do.
And he turns off the pocket nuke, and he says to Huron, return to your masters inside of their box. You are to give them a message from me. Tell them that it'll not be long before the Dragon Reborn rides to battle at Shaiol Ghul. If they wish to return to their posts with honor, I'll provide them transport back to the Blight. Otherwise, they can remain here, hiding. Let them explain to their children and grandchildren why they were hundreds of leagues away from their posts when the Dark One was slain and the prophecies fulfilled. And Huron's like, okie dokie,
Okay.
artichoke.
Let's be real. He ate with that.
He did,
He did
because
eat
it
with
is
that.
really fucking stupid.
Why did we have to
down
do?
here.
No, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. But
Like, at the end of the day, that is still really fucking annoying.
no, listen, the way they're behaving is dumb and annoying, and I'm not going to take that from him. But like, why did we have to do all of the like potential murdering when we could have just done that in the first place? Why did we have to do all of that like stuff that's just going to make people want to kill you harder? Like,
So-
why are you making your own life worse? Have you ever seen someone determined to ruin their own fucking life? It's so dumb. I'm like, why do you want to suffer? It's like, you know what happened? I got traumatized and I was like, this sucks. Better not do it to anybody else. 1. 2, I thought, I bet life could be better than this though. And guess what? It can be. Everyone around you sometimes seems to like want it to not be better. But like you can do a lot of shit to make your life better, even when everything sucks.
So Rand, they ride away, and he says, "Look for a statue." And Nynaeve is like, "What in the shit butt are you talking about?" And Rand goes, "You really need to fucking learn how to swear." And he says, "You asked where Perrin was. He's camped with an army beneath the shade of an enormous fallen statue shaped like a sword stabbing the earth. I'm certain scholars here can tell you where it is. It's very distinctive."
Why did he change his mind? I don't
Because
understand.
I have a debt to you for caring when I cannot. If you seek Perrin out, tell him that I will soon need him.
Why didn't we realize that sooner? I just have you're just such an asshole. Everything you say sounds like somebody's toxic ass ex. God, he sounds like an AIM away message half the fucking time. Like an emo kid's aim away message.
Kinda.
The youngs won't understand what that means. The middles will. The olds won't. There's a very specific section of people that are going to understand everything about that reference.
By the way, you got a ton of flack for saying that Gen X and the elder millennials and etc. didn't found and form a lot of things on the internet.
I did.
You got a ton of flack.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I did. I don't remember even saying that.
Yeah, you were like, the millennials made the internet what it is. Everybody older than us didn't touch it, and everybody younger than us doesn't know how to do it.
No, I'm saying everybody older than us didn't grow up with it, and everybody younger than us was born into the world just having it.
Sure. But Gen X was like, excuse me.
Oh, Gen X, relax. I understand you have a lot of feelings about being forgotten, but we got a lot of shit. Let us have something. Holy crap. I'm sorry. No, okay, here's what I meant by it. Now, apparently, I have to defend myself against something I didn't even know happened. Yeah, that's what I meant by it, is that we grew up with it at, like, our most formative years. So, like, yeah, we had a lot of sway over it because you all were in the workforce doing shit, and then the Gen Zers were, like, not born. So...
And yet you still don't know who Homestar Runner is.
No, I don't know who that is.
The system is down. All right.
What? No, okay. That's all I was saying. Is that y'all were actually like, working.
Apropos of nothing.
Like it came into your lives later on.
Rand leaves, and Nynaeve is like, there's so much fucking shit going on here, man. I'm not into
Also,
any of this.
Here's what I've come to realize.
I've gotten
I
laid
think
since book 11.
every generation younger than boomers thinks that they created the internet as it is today. And I'm like, the truth is probably all three.
Yeah.
Hot nuance, everyone. Hot nuance is key.
So she thinks about Rand and Matt and Perrin and now this stuff, and she looks up at the Stone of Tyr and sees the spot where Matt blew a fucking hole in it with fireworks, and thinks about what he might be up to. She's
Have you ever broed so hard
hammered.
you're telepathically linked?
They are, aren't they? Yeah. And so
It's guy love.
they, you know what it is? Apparently it's Taviran. According to Robert, it's Taviran.
Of course it is. Everything's Taviran. Everything, because Robert's like,
I made up
I
the
have
best
the
cheat
perfect
code
cheat
of all time.
and I will triple down on it.
You fuckers wish you came up with this shit.
I do. I will admit when I'm envious. This is great because every plot hole can be answered with Taviran.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to make up metaphysical reasons for it. It's brilliant.
So she goes in the stone, try to find Cad Suane. Blah, 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 blah. Finds Cad's Marisa and Corella, and Min is in there, and Cad Suane's in there, and Nynaeve comes in. She goes, I think I found him. And Perrin and Cad Suane goes, excellent. You did well. It appears that you can be of use. And Nynaeve was like, that was completely fucking unnecessary. Cad Suane is written by Brandon Sanderson. We didn't need that shit at all.
It really wasn't.
Cad Suane goes, well, where is he? And Nynaeve is like, what the fuck? Can you be nice?
Okay, Rand is behaving 10 times worse. How much vitriol does Cad Suane get versus Rand?
In the fandom?
Yeah.
Cad Suane is one of the characters who is almost universally despised. Cad Suane, by the way, I love Cad Suane. If you were to rank characters that people hate the most,
okay,
Cad Suane and Payable are pretty much tied for first.
Okay.
Then it's Egwene.
Okay.
And then it's probably Elaine.
Huh. What do these people all have in common, Gus?
I don't know, Al.
Your Honor, Your Honor, I present to the court vaginas, also vulvas, which is the correct term for the entire area. It is a pet peeve of mine. Anyway, I did not expect to be talking about vulvas as much as I am today, but I probably that's on me. I should have thought of that.
So Cad Suane, Perrin, and Nynaeve goes, first, I want to know why Perrin is important. And Cad Suane goes, you'd hold this knowledge back even if it means the lives of those you hold dear. And Nynaeve was like, I want to know what I'm doing.
Not. My favorite thing is that he's not.
That's so. Why the fuck do you want to know where Perrin is?
I literally laughed out loud. I really did. Who is with it? By the way, can we just start theorizing?
Sure.
Unless you want to get to the dramatic end of the chapter.
No, we can talk about who's with Perrin. Before we do that, we were overdue for an ad break. So we're taking an ad break and then we'll keep going. Okay, Allie.
Who's with Perrin? Who's important? Okay. Barrelane is with Perrin. Fail to see how she's important in this particular instance. More gays, but I'm like,
not that we know of, though, because remember, nobody can identify her despite her being Queen Elizabeth or Queen Victoria, whichever fucking.
Yeah, I'm like, that's hilarious.
And yet nobody fucking knows who she is on sight. It makes me crash the fuck out every time I think about it.
It's really quite funny.
That's my
really,
Roman Empire.
Really funny. Yeah, including like people who should know what she looks like royalty people. Where I'm like, all these people are deeply related, probably.
I don't know. Fail. Or all of the ice. I gotta stop.
Especially the diplomacy. I mean, the holy plot hole, Batman.
I gotta stop.
But great. But they couldn't recognize the daughter heir of Andor either.
This is like
the worry about her being recognized was enough that they had to dye her hair. Your Honor.
This is like the whole fucking scene in House of the Dragon where Emma Darcy puts on a Septa's outfit. And no one notices. Everybody, I'm like, that's very. Look at how can you hide those cheekbones?
Look at her hair.
How can you serve this hard in secret?
Like that blonde hair girl, like that white blonde hair girl. I know that there are bastards and whatever, but girl,
who else is with Perrin?
Also, you know who visited that sept all the time? The royalty. Like, oh no, like it took me out. It took me the fuck out. Anyway, listen, the show's great. Actually.
House of the Dragon, yeah,
I think. But I mean, well, anyway, whole things. But, what?
You seemed like you didn't want to get into a conversation.
Because I just feel like because the House of the Dragon people scare me. Anyway,
yes.
House of the Dragon, like that's a Reddit area that scares me.
So who else?
So more gays. I don't know that anyone unbelievably believes that she's alive. So I don't think they're talking about her, even though she, to me, of all the people, seems to be like potentially the most helpful, considering she's like royalty. I don't know. Payable, who is also royalty, but like, removed a bit.
Amathera?
Why the fuck would she
Not
be
Amathera.
important?
I'm sorry. Alejandra is there. Not important at all, probably.
Is she like what?
Allie, what about the goat, Talonvor?
Like, what would they do with with any of these people? Oh no, it better not be Talonvor. That better not be it.
Basil Gill?
I mean, he's important in my heart, but
He's a sweet baby boy.
he's my fave.
Yeah.
Fail, maybe.
Now, there are people you're forgetting.
Not Gareth.
Not
Bryn.
Gareth Bryn. I'm not saying whether or not you've touched on the right person so
am I
far. I'm just saying
forgetting?
there are other
Leanie?
people you're forgetting.
Leanie? Is Leanie important? Leanie is the key.
We also know, by the way, we remember from a mind flash of Perrin.
Here's the thing, Leanie. Oh, sorry.
It's
Finish
okay.
your sentence.
You may remember from a mind flash of Perrin. Perrin's plot line in this book is way the fuck behind Rand's. So Perrin is currently with Galad for some fucking reason.
Oh, so it's Galad.
It might be Galad.
Because he's the head of the White Cloaks. They're going to make
Maybe.
peace with the White Cloaks.
Maybe.
I moved the wrong shit.
How
the wrong shit.
How is that going to help Rand's mental state?
His mental state is fucked. I don't know.
Because what's Cadsuane's goal?
Well, maybe. Oh yeah.
Remind him he's a human being and of
Be
the
like,
little
you
boy
have a
he used
brother?
to
I
be.
don't know. Be like, you have a brother who happens to be brothers to your wife. Which that would kind of bum me out, actually, to remember that fact. Because that just feels a little...
Yeah, there's a lot going on there.
But,
You think it's Galad?
I mean, making peace with the White Cloaks would help his mental health maybe a little. Maybe the White Cloaks could help with some stuff for once.
Is there anybody else hanging out with Perrin?
Dane Bornhold? Oh, it's Tam! Tam! Wait! Fuck! I was gonna move that. Damn it. Well, okay, you know what? I will accept Daddy's love making him be a person again.
You think they're going to get Tam to give him a big hug?
That'd be cute.
That's going to happen. Give him a big hug.
That'd be cute. And then he just like has a little manly cry.
Or it could be Galad. Give him a big handshake.
Hey, he'll be with 2 family members. That's nice. It's like, hey, you have a family. There's a reason to keep the world alive because you have a family. Family. Isn't that what it's all about at the end of the day? A family.
Well, it could be. It could also be they
I'd be
just
a little
want
pissed
him
as
to...
that family that he forgot that he had a family, but
what
whatever.
if they just bring Talonvor and they go, we know you're
It's
feeling
Tam.
bad. Just fucking
No,
waste
it's
this
Tam.
asshole.
It's Tam because he needs Dad's love. He needs a lesson from Dad. Every man needs Dad. That's just fuck single moms. Am I right? No, I'm just kidding.
Rand has been collecting dads throughout the entire series.
I think no. I obviously did not mean that.
No, of
about
course you
single
didn't
mothers.
mean that. Yes, the single mothers are amazing.
Parents of all kinds are amazing.
Parents are great. Good
Biological or
job,
no.
everybody.
Yay, parents. Yay, found families. Yay, regular families. Yay, everything. But yeah, I think he needs Dad. Sometimes we need our parents or whatever replacement parents you have. Sometimes it's nice to have, a little maternal, paternal, non-binary parental love in your life.
It's nice.
Someone who believes in you and shit. Or, who can be like, son, stop being a dick to everyone. God, if that was the first thing he said, I'd be like, yeah.
Tam's going to bust in and go,
No, I think...
Cut it out.
I think he's going to hug him.
Stop
There's
it.
going to be a little
Get
crying.
some help.
If Rand is mean to his dad, I'm going to be pissed.
Rand
If Rand...
being mean to Tam?
Gus...
Being mean to Tam
Gus,
Althor?
love of my life. If this man is mean to his father...
Mean to Tam
I will
Althor?
lose my God.
Allie, the only
if
thing
you
worse
think the
than
rant
being...
this episode was epic, I will literally, the podcast will just be me screaming
You're
for
just
an
going
hour.
to clip out the mic for a full hour?
Yes, for a full, I will, it's unintelligible screaming for a full hour. Do you understand? There's not enough Nutella in the fucking world to get through that. You all, I better get Nutella if that happens.
The only thing worse than Rand being mean to Tam
Huron?
Alley would be somebody, I don't know, slandering Abel Coffin or something. I don't know.
God forbid. Everyone gives a shit about that.
No, what do you think? Rand's going to be a dick to Tam?
I'm saying that if he is a dick to Tam,
It's
I will
Tam.
literally eat an entire jar of Nutella in one sitting on this podcast.
Well, hopefully that doesn't happen. Although that sounds kind of
am
fun.
not in control. There's not, like, I've been to, on and off 12 years of therapy?
Yeah.
On and off? That would unravel all of it. I would go back to being who I was at 20 years old.
Well, don't worry. Maybe Rand will instead just be like, I will have a baby. I'm a good man now. Which is worse, Rand being mean to Tam or Rand going, babies?
Rand being mean to Tam.
Babies.
Rand being mean to Tam.
Rand being mean to Tam?
It's the worst thing that could happen.
Can you envision a world in which anyone is mean to Tam?
If Rand is mean to Tam, I will riot.
I haven't not seen the man since book fucking 1. That would be the worst goddamn thing.
I'm now really concerned that this is what's going to happen and you're setting me up to be pissed.
Why would I do that?
You have done that so many times. What do you mean? In 5 years on this podcast?
No.
Oh no. I'm really concerned. I'm really concerned. I just thought of a terrible case scenario. The worst case scenario ever. Oh God. He's going to be a dick to Tam. And I'm going to have to stab the book with a basilisk fang or some shit.
Not the e-reader though, please. You can stab the mass market paperback if you have to stab something. But I'd rather
I'm
you
gonna
not
have to
do
stab
that.
something. That's for sure.
Because I have the hardcovers up here. The mass market paperbacks are falling apart because I've had them for 15 years.
So much Nutella. Oh.
Well, here's the thing. Shall we finish off this chap?
Yeah. I'm really stressing out.
Nynaeve goes, I want to know what I've gotten myself into. I want to know that this information isn't going to end up hurting Rand further. And Cadsuane goes, you presume to think I'd hurt the fool boy? And goes, how'd the Borderlander meeting go? She says, well, like fucking ass. It was dog shit, man. It was terrible. It was fucking awful. He was going to fucking rain hellfire on their asses. And Cadsuane goes, that boy will laugh again. I didn't live this long to fail now. And Corelli goes, what does it matter? Because Corelli apparently is wine drunk at noon. And she goes, well, what does it matter? We're obviously going to succeed. And Nynaeve goes, what gave you that idea? We've just spent all afternoon drilling this girl about her visions. And Min is like, I usually spend all afternoon getting drilled, but it's not like this. They all, not even a fucking chuckle. Really? Nothing. Were you thinking about something?
I was so stressed about Rand and Tam that I didn't hear a word you said. I'm so stressed out about this.
I made a sex joke.
What did you say?
You're going to have to listen to the podcast.
I will have to listen back because I'm so stressed out right now. I don't know if I'm going to be okay if that happens.
We'll just keep reading. It'll be fine.
I really am worried about it.
We've just spent all afternoon drilling this girl about her visions. They always come true, and she's seen things that obviously can't happen until after the last battle. So we know Rand is going to defeat the Dark One. The pattern's already decided it. We can stop worrying. And Min goes, no.
Yeah, no.
Why no?
Because if the Dark One wins, the pattern is destroyed.
Yes.
So there is no anything.
Yes, like, I know how the book ends. I don't have to worry about somebody burning it.
Like, I've never heard someone be so wrong with their full chest before.
And Cadsuane's like,
This
yep.
entire double D cup of chest.
That's
so wrong.
That's true. And Corelli is like, oh man, I should not have had all those mimosas. And
it's embarrassing to be so loudly wrong.
Nynaeve says, do you know the location of a statue of an enormous sword fallen to earth as if stabbing it?
And Cadsuane's like, I studied every statue that exists in this world.
The hand of the Amun Rakane. The full statue was never finished. From what scholars can tell, it rests near the Gehenna Road. Perrin is camping in its shadow. I assumed he would go eastward towards lands Althor has captured. All right, we're going for him right now. She hesitated, then glanced at Nynaeve. In answer to your question earlier, child, Perrin actually isn't important to our plan.
Robert Jordan agrees.
It's fucking killing me. This is fucking so... Oh, Perrin, we gotta get Perrin. What's Perrin up to? I don't give a fuck.
Actually, fuck Perrin.
From his grave, Robert was like...
We need Rand's...
Fuck yeah, get his ass.
We need Rand's papa.
He isn't? But Cadsuane raised a finger. There are people with him who are vital.
Oh,
One
my God.
in particular.
Oh my God.
And that's the end of chapter 44. And how you feeling, Allie? I did feel good book of the century every day when I was recovering. She would be like, do you think you can record today? And I'd be like, I don't know. My teeth kind of hurt. She'd go, okay, I don't want to talk about Rand right now anymore.
I never, like today I was like taking as long as possible to get ready for this podcast because I was just like, I just don't want to talk about him. He makes me so mad. I guess because I'm just like, I cannot deal. I don't know what it is, who traumatized me, why this is so triggering to me. But a man or anyone who makes their feelings everyone else's goddamn problem triggers the shit out of me. And I'm like, I got to do some shadow work on that. Apparently, I'm going to take out my fucking shadow work journal today and be like, Randall Thor triggered me today.
He does that.
I don't know what that is. I'm like, what memory? I'm going to have to meditate on this shit. Like, why does this fucking kid...
Well, you said he reminds you of all your exes.
Oh, that's definitely true. Yeah, that's part of it.
I've met your exes.
You've met
it's correct.
one of my
Met
exes.
two of your exes.
What other ex did you meet?
One of them was playing guitar in a hotel lobby.
Oh, yeah, but that one barely counts.
Okay.
But it's true. Gus did meet the my first kiss guy.
It was funny.
We walked into this hotel and he was there playing the guitar and I was like, we were like newly engaged.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah. And I was like, this is weird. What a full circle moment for me that I never asked for. Because he dumped me the next day.
He kissed you and then dumped you?
The next day because
That's
this
shitty.
girl who was bullying me told him to.
Fuck her.
I know. I was in 8th grade.
Oh my God.
It was devastating. He dumped
Say
me.
her full name and address on the podcast.
Just dox her right now. That seems like a reasonable response.
Seems like a sensible thing to do.
And so I will. Her name was no, he dumped me over MySpace message, like MySpace.
Oh no.
Isn't that horrible?
Oh, that's...
I've told you this.
You have, but every time I hear it, I get upset on your
I know.
tiny behalf again.
I had a difficult time until like I met you.
Well, listen.
And then I was like, oh, the world's pretty good actually.
Randall Thor going through it. Perrin, dumber than dirt apparently, utterly pointless to Katsuin's plan.
Which is so funny.
Every time I read that part again, the first part, because we listened to that one chapter
Every time the books
live.
accidentally shade Perrin, it's
They
so
flamed the
funny.
fuck out of him. Because that first time it was like, find Perrin Ibarra, and we were doing a live react. He went, who cares? Why do we need Perrin? And then Nynaeve went, why do we need Perrin?
Oh my God, I laughed so hard. That was so funny. Like, imagine even your childhood friend is like, he's irrelevant.
Who gives a fuck about Perrin?
And
what is he gonna do?
Cat Swain's like, Perrin's not gonna make Rand feel better. That's so funny.
Thank you very much for listening, everyone. We got social media if you want to know what we have going on. It's linked below. We also have a Patreon if you want to support us that way. It's patreon.com/wheeltakes. Check out Babylon, our other podcast that we have going on about Babylon 5. That's also linked down below. And a link to a YouTube playlist of that is up there as well. You don't need to know anything about Babylon 5. I didn't starting it, and I still know next to nothing because we've only watched 7 episodes. You can also leave us a rating or a review, which helps a lot. Other than that, anything else, Sally?
Perrin doesn't matter.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
I think we should rename the appendix the Ibarra.
Why?
Because it's fucking worthless.